I want to talk to you about a game that I'm interested in that you've been playing a lot of.
Yes.
Apparently, reviews up. Dead by Daylight.
Dead by Daylight, like a playable horror movie. We
Or
talked about
otherwise-
Evolve earlier
Yeah.
in the podcast, but this is also an asymmetrical game where one person can play the big bad guy. It scales for, I think it's 2 to 4. I think you can probably maybe do 1 to 4. I think you need a minimum of 2 victims though.
Okay.
And the game loop works like this. There are 3 different killers. You can pick which one they are. They all have different abilities. Survivors, they're all generic, but you have random, like there's random progression. There's these procedurally generated blood webs, and you fill one of those up and you gain a level, and then another one pops up and you get access to different, likely better skills.
Procedurally generated blood webs, everybody.
Yeah, that's the progression method, like the skill tree.
And this is just on Steam at this point, right?
Just on Steam at this point. It's $20.
This feels exactly like the Friday the 13th game that team is making.
There have been a lot of comparisons to that game. But what happens is there are different maps, but every game plays out the same way. The victims have to find these generators and repair these generators, which takes time. And there are these skill checks that pop up. They're QTEs, and you have to stop. You have to hit the space bar while it's in the zone, or else it makes it backfires. You lose some progress, and then the sound lets the killer know where you are.
Okay. Is it tense? Does it work? Is it fun?
Oh, it works. It's really tense. I yelp a lot while I'm playing this game. Like, you never know.
You can eat later. Focus on the game.
Was that a joke about checking restaurant reviews on Yelp?
That was a joke about checking restaurant reviews.
Wow.
Really swinging for it, but it's
that'll laugh track
you get
later.
into it, right, Futter?
I get into it. Wasn't that was not the joke, but we'll go with it.
No, it was the
No,
joke.
I actually make noise while I'm playing this game. I jump, like there are jump scares. So what happens is the survivors are all in third person, which gives them a little bit of an advantage. The killer is in first person, and so they can kind of rotate the camera around, but you need to really stay focused when you're repairing a generator, because these skill checks, there's a sound cue, but it doesn't give you a lot of time, so you have to pay attention. When the killer's looking at you and he's real close, like there's this red light, so you can kind of see where he's looking if he's real close to you. And if you see that behind you, you need to take off. Now, the really cool thing is that yes, you're powerless as a victim, but you can knock down debris, and if he happens to be like real close, you can stun the killer. But if you run too much, it leaves all these red scratch marks so you can see where you're going. So you have to be really methodical in your movement. You have to walk, you have to crouch. And if you're injured and if you get hit, you whimper so he can figure out where you are. So you need to make sure that you and your team are healing each other. Now, there's a couple of things that are drawbacks in the game. One is that you cannot communicate with your team in a ranked match. There's a pre-match chat where you can strategize, but once you're in the game, even if you're close, you can't talk to people. So you kind of just have to adapt quickly and try to figure out what you're going to do. Is it better to stay apart? Is it better to repair together? Which gives you more chance of somebody getting a skill check and then screwing it up. You can take all of your progression, so any skills that you've earned and slotted into one of your survivors or your killer, any consumable items, which can change the game a little bit. They can make it brighter, like make the moon brighter, which is actually really challenging for the survivors.
There's a consumable item to make the moon brighter?
Yeah, there's consumable items that will like direct you toward one map or the other. There are consumable items that'll give you bonus points in different categories. So the killer's got categories like hunting and deviousness, and like survivors have like categories like being bold, like staying close to the killer. You hear the heartbeat as he gets within range, and it gets louder. And then the music is really like horror movie tense, and while you're running away. And
this sounds really good. Is it as good as it seems?
I keep coming back to it.
Yeah.
I really love playing it, and there is a casual match thing where you can join up with friends. The problem is that right now the way it works is the killer starts the match and then invites his friends to be the survivors, and that you can't switch roles within that. So if you want to play round robin and have everybody take a turn being the killer, you got to leave, and then you've got to come back and have that. The killer needs to start a new lobby and then invite everybody in. I expect that they're going to fix that over time. This is a game that is probably going to get some more support, more killers, more skills, things like that. But right now, there are some things that do hold it back. That said, matching as a victim is pretty quick. Matching as a killer takes a little bit more time, and you do get to pick which role you want to play when you start a game.
Okay.
So you either start a lobby as a killer, or you join a lobby as a victim.
Well, here's the competition for Evolve then. This is what it has to compete with when it becomes free to play.
It is. And again, this is a $20 game. I really like it. Like, this is a game where I have played with friends, and I really, really enjoyed it.